The General Hospital recap features Willow Tait learning a mother's point of view. In this episode, Willow bonded with a nurse who tried to put things in perspective for her. Portia did her job as a doctor and learned a few things about Esm's plight. Curtis and Drew spent some time chatting and bonding while Jordan made a new friend at the Metro Court pool. Finally, Tracy ordered Brooklyn around as Lucy and Maxie celebrated success at Deception. Now let's dig a little deeper into the details. Willow, Caitlin McMullen, remained in isolation, where she only had a nurse named Clara Susan Dial to talk to most of the time. When Willow admitted how much pain she was in, Clara asked if she should have her mom come in to distract her and explained that she had been there nearly 24/7 since the transplant was complete. Willow was stunned to hear this and explained what had happened to the woman she thought was her mother. However, she also defended Harmony, Ingve Cadranal, saying she was gullible and fell prey to the wrong people. Yes, in Willow's eyes, Harmony tried but was not the mother she should have been. Clara talked about moms and how they are only human. Even on their best days, moms just do what they can. And when they have rough days, moms have to forgive themselves for not being perfect. Even Clara defended Harmony, a woman who might have wanted to do her best and didn't. At least she pointed out that Willow's biological mom was there. But Willow said nope, that was her mother-in-law. Willow then went on to explain how her biological mom was alive, but that she didn't want anything to do with her. Clara could barely believe that the editor of Crimson was Willow's mother. Then Willow, in her infinite wisdom, told her nurse that the mother who had her raped had her flaws, but the woman she was stolen from, who was mean to her when teenage Charlotte was in the 3rd grade, was a train wreck. Clara pointed out that Willow forgave Harmony and wondered how Nina, Cynthia Watrous, could be that unforgivable. Finally, Clara played devil's advocate and asked Willow how she would feel if she learned Nina suddenly died in a car accident. Willow showed a teeny tiny bit of humanity and admitted that she might feel a loss. Still, her relationship with Nina was complicated. Before Clara left, she told Willow that the universe surely wanted Nina in her life since Nina's aunt's bone marrow saved her. Drew Cameron Matheson, stopped by Curtis's Donald Turner, place to have some bromance time and was thrilled that Curtis was found to be Trina's Tabiana Ali, father, and that Curtis moved back in with Portia. However, he was also a little surprised because Curtis was still torn between Jordan, Tanisha Harper, and Portia the last time they talked. Curtis told him all about Jordan's disappointment with Curtis's move and how she accused him of using her to sort out his feelings. Drew was pragmatic, saying sometimes you have to hurt the people you love. He explained that the feds might want Carly, Laura Wright, to turn on Sunny, Morris Bernard, to save herself, but Drew knew she wouldn't do it. However, Drew somehow believed Carly would turn against him to stay out of jail because he apparently didn't think he was that important to her. Curtis found that surprising and wondered why the feds were going after them for an insider trading mess in which nobody made money. Zeke Gavin Houston introduced himself to Jordan, Tanisha Harper, at the Metro Court pool bar, and Jordan was unimpressed with his confidence but smiled at the newcomer when he wasn't looking. The two got to talking, and Jordan admitted that she kissed her ex, and he went right back to his new wife. Still, Jordan was ready to have fun in life, so she offered to buy Zeke a drink. It turned out Jordan and Zeke really liked each other as they talked and flirted. By the end of the night, Jordan had left her wedding ring in an empty glass and hopped into bed with Zeke. Portia, Brooke Kerr, found that her new patient was Esm Avery Kristen Pohl. She thought she might have strep and didn't want to infect Ace, but when she mentioned her new job, Portia was extra intrigued. She wondered why Esm had to work and told her she had other financial resources, with Ace being a Cassadine. She thought she should get financial support from Nicholas, no matter where he was. Somehow Portia and Esm managed to bond over their children being in danger on the Haunted Star. When the subject of Esm leaving town came up, Esm told Portia that Spencer Nicholas Alexander Chavez would just follow her wherever she went. Portia seemed to like that idea and encouraged Esm to move to where people weren't always watching her. And Spencer would leave town too, so a bonus in her quest to break up Spencer and Trina, Laura, Jenny Francis, and Kevin, John Lindstrom, chatted about what she planned to do next. Kevin was surprised to hear that his wife decided to go to Chechnya to find her eldest son. Kevin wasn't sure she'd find Nicholas there, but Laura had to look for him and help him. As usual, Kevin was supportive of his wife. In fact, he was going to go with her. Laura worried about Esme and Spencer all alone, but Kevin suggested getting Alexis to watch out for Spencer and ensure he didn't get in trouble. Laura then enlisted Yuri to be their guide on this trip to Russia. Trissy, Jane Elliott, was not happy with Brooklyn, Amanda Seton, and wondered if Chase, Josh Swickard, was distracting her from getting as much information about the Deceptor as possible. Tracy then threatened to tell Chase about her help with the Civilian Review Board. Brooklyn agreed to help, but not if it hurt Lucy, Lynn Herring, Maxie, Kirsten Storms, and Sasha Sophia Matson. After Tracy left, Brooklyn rejoined Chase but was distracted by Tracy's demands. It also became apparent why Tracy was so interested in this new product as Lucy and Maxie celebrated the Deceptor's initial sales numbers. Lucy was so happy with how Deception was going she even offered to find Maxie a new house so she could get out of that tiny apartment with her 3 small children. So they went online and found her one. Yay! Maxie is finally getting out of that apartment. Once upon a time, Jocelyn Jacks was a classic young soap teen heroine you could root for, but those days seem to be gone as General Hospital has turned her into a heartless shrill shrew who rarely thinks of anyone but her own self. It was only a little over a year ago when our hearts broke for Jocelyn as her first sexual experience was exploited in a horrific way that could make many young people shy away from sex. Aidan McCoy's performance illustrating Joss's humiliation and pain from having her first time with Cameron, William Lipton, blasted out onto the internet thanks to Esmond's Avery Kristen poll. Devious doings brought us to tears. As both Joss and Cam tentatively navigated their relationship afterward, GH gave us a realistic story that came from character and not plot. We'd watched them both grow up before our eyes, with McCoy joining the soap in 2015 when she was only 11 years old. We thought we knew both characters, but perhaps we didn't know Jocelyn. We expected there to be troubled waters between the young lovers and wondered if their relationship was damaged for good. When Joss met Dex, Evan Hofer, and her attraction toward him became apparent, we knew it was almost over for Joss and Cam, but we never expected things to end the way they did. Sure, it was normal to see Jocelyn torn between the boy she'd known her whole life and this new exciting man in town, but meeting Dex seems to have turned Joss into a whole new person, and this new person is not very nice at all. Jocelyn has always had a bit, or more than just a bit, of her mother in her, following in Carly's Laura Wright, take no prisoners' footsteps, and there was nothing wrong with that. She was a young woman who knew how to take charge and stick up for herself, but she didn't have the complete sense of entitlement she exhibits now. While it often rubbed us the wrong way when Jocelyn would speak for Trina, Tabby and Allie, we gave it a pass because of how loyal she always was to Trina, refusing to believe for a second that her BFF could have made that sex video no matter what the evidence said. But once Trina's trial was over, and Joss became obsessed with all things Dex, everything began to change. By the time 2023 began, we didn't know who Joss was anymore. The year began with Jocelyn being attacked by the hook on the docks as she was ready to board the Haunted Star. Britt Westburn, Kelly Thiebaud, saved her, and Dex seemed to save Britt with his gun. Rather than stay with Britt until the police arrived, Joss and Dex ran off because they were afraid the cops would wonder why Dex had a gun, as if that is the PCPD's main concern in a mobster town with a serial killer on the loose. Apparently, the adrenaline after the attack made both Joss and Dex amorous because they went right back to his apartment and slept together, while she was still officially Cam's girlfriend. Only after having sex with someone else did Jocelyn realize she might want to break up with Cam, so she ran straight to Kelly's and broke a young man's heart as a New Year's gift. But she didn't tell him why. She just said they had grown apart, and they had, which was okay, but it was far from the complete truth. The next morning when Joss learned Britt died as a result of a nick from the hook's poison weapon, she wept for a hot minute, realizing that Britt lost her life saving her, but that was it. She barely showed another moment of remorse, lied to the cops about what happened, told nobody but Carly who Britt had saved, and callously refused to show up at Britt's memorial, lest it would make her sad. What she did to Cameron was even worse. She never told him about Dex. He just had to find them in her dorm room together. That's when Joss threatened the boy she once came to love, and told him there would be trouble if he breathed a word of her little dorm room romance to anyone. Joss was unrecognizable to us and unrecognizable to poor Cam. 5 months later, we are left with a young woman so obsessed with her new boyfriend that she doesn't care who she hurts. In fact, she even convinced herself she was in a dangerous forbidden romance for no real reason whatsoever. Sunny was never going to kill just because they were dating, cause Sunny couldn't care less about her love life. Like her brother, she will never forgive Sunny for no longer being in love with Carly. She is constantly rude for no reason to anyone she deems beneath her. She weeps about eternally dying Willow, Catelyn McMullen, but will chew out Michael, Chad Duell, for his decisions that might hurt Dex while his wife is in an isolation room with cancer. Jocelyn is a genuinely horrible person now. On the surface, she puts on airs of love and compassion, but don't get in the way of her sex life with Dex. That's when the claws come out, and her true colors show. And those claws and true colors are bound to get the people she claims to love in more trouble than her young mind can imagine.